Hello, everyone. We have Thomas with us, Pelle with us, Luke with us. We are about to play our final group match of 2023-2024 in the Europa League group stage against AEK Athens. It's all or nothing, guys. It's all or
Yes,
nothing.
it is.
How do you guys feel? Are you guys a bit nervous or not?
I'm pretty confident, actually, in a nice, relaxing way, which is unusual for me this season. And I really like the feeling, and I really hope this is not the opposite of a blessing in disguise, right? But I feel like this team really needs a big win, like a meaningful win. And I hope that the stake is going to drive the boys forward, and I actually feel like we're going to make it, especially provided what we have seen from AEK in Greece, where we were half the team we are now, and we almost won there. So yeah, I can't believe they're twice the team they were back then, and we are twice the team we are back then. So, and also we're playing home. Yeah, I feel pretty confident.
All right, you're dressed for it as well, so all good.
Actually, yeah, there are two reasons. First of all, you won't see me here this year after today. So happy whatever you celebrate. That's one thing, and also a bit of trivia for you. Saint Nicholas was actually of Greek origin, so I hope he'll bring us some presents today.
Yeah. Hope so too. That's a good one. Pelle, Swedish, always cool. How cool are you?
As always,
this game?
Mr. Positive himself. That's me. Known to be the most positive on the podcast all the time. You know what? I'm going to say it. We're going to win today. Easy win. I'm going for it.
I'm
feeling it.
Really?
Yeah.
Despite the fact that we know that Berghuis and Bergwijn are not playing tonight?
Yeah. Even though I'm still going to try to be positive. I mean, it's the most wonderful time of year. So you know what? We should be fine. And another thing, one omen I think which is going to be positive is the fact that we're Ajax this month. We've been playing Sparta. Now we're meeting Athens, and we're going to end the year playing Hercules. We have a theme here, and I do believe that that's going to, that's a sign that we're going to win this. Like the
wow, man, you guys are so positive. Luke, let me go with you. Are you that positive? The same as Thomas and Pelle as well?
I think we'll win today. But in terms of Europe, it's got to the point where our problems go way beyond this competition. So if we go out, it's not really the biggest thing. If we get Conference League, fantastic. I'll always want to be in a competition to win it. But, I'd rather, if going out meant that our stuff got put together again and we got proper fire in the league and managed to work up the table, then I'd happily sacrifice that. But I'll always be in a competition to win it, though.
Are you saying that, let's say, of course, we want to win, we want to proceed, in the European competition. But let's say if we don't make it, it just ends up in a draw. You won't be too disappointed? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because it's one of those things, like I said, the problems go beyond a European competition. You know what I mean?
Okay. Do you guys feel the same, Thomas, Pelle?
No, I feel like I would see it in a bit of a broader picture because we had some good results in the Eredivisie, but we are still yet to win a single very important game, right? We failed against all the big teams before, and I feel like mentally this team really needs a big, meaningful win, right? Obviously, all the games in the Eredivisie are important and so on, but this is one single decider, right? I really feel like this team really needs it. And also for the sake of the future, I would really rather not see those guys to calculate and to consider Conference League not important. We should always seek to win. Obviously, if we won't make it, it won't be the end of the world, right? However, yeah, I really feel like we actually need a win in a meaningful game, like one big result, because we are still yet to win a big game since Schroeder, actually, I guess. Well, no, maybe, yeah, the Becker in last season half final was that. But other than that, we really miss those big wins, and yeah, say what you want about AEK and this being Europa League and fighting for the third place, but for what we have done for a long time, this I would consider this a big win. So yeah, I guess we need a big win.
Pele.
Don't get me. Hold on, sorry.
Yeah,
Don't
go
get me
ahead.
wrong though. I would absolutely want to stay in the European competition.
Yeah.
I don't look at the Conference League as I'd rather not be in it than be in it. I'd always want to be in Europe. But what I'm trying to say is that, you know, sometimes being out of Europe can always, you know, you can focus on league, you perform better in the league, players stay fit.
Mhm.
It happened. Tottenham's not in the Europa League, for example, any kind of Europe. Arsenal went a few years ago. You know, it's one of those things, isn't it? But absolutely want to be in Europe. Don't get me wrong. I would love to win it, but wouldn't be that disappointed. Is what I'm trying to say. If we were to go out.
I can see that. I know what you mean. Obviously, having to play less games is of benefit for our league campaign. Still, well, my focus is here on the mental side of things. I really think we badly need a win like that.
Yeah, we completely agree with that as well. I mean, my mind would be probably if we go out, I probably wouldn't be disappointed by us going out. But if we leave, for example, if we lose the game or if we play poorly, that's going to be a disappointment in itself. I would probably say that, yeah, I try to see it positively as well, that if we would leave, end up not being able to play in Europe, we're going to be able to, you know, focus on the league and kind of come back stronger the next season, because we all know that this is kind of a throwaway season in that regard. But at the same time, I do believe that it would be good for us, you know, the boys to get some experience out in Europe as well and not having to play, you know. And no shame, Zwolle, Sparta, Vitesse and everything like that. I think we're going to need some more fierce competition to actually get back, you know, on a high level.
And also to assess where we really stand, right? I mean, yes, we're winning the games, and yes, with all due respect, these are not the strongest, you know, like competitors we're playing against. I think I agree with Thomas. This one tonight, also the amount of pressure that it has, it's different. You know, we have to. There's no backing down. There's no calculation going on. We can draw, or we can wait and see what the others are doing. No, we have to win. So it will be very interesting. Let me go through the comments quickly, because in a few minutes I think the lineup will be revealed. So we'll talk about it as well. We have also a special guest, Dimitris, who will join us a couple of minutes and talk about AEK. And let's see how he thinks about the upcoming game. So let me go through the comments quickly, and just a couple. Let me see. So we have, of course, Aidon is saying a big game for the back, like today. Yeah, that's true. Progressivo is saying, I'm really positive for today, guys. So he agrees with most of you as well. Zig is saying, I'm not buying the whole explanation of Thomas. It's just the heating not working. I don't know, man. They're onto you.
I'm a bit cold. You might hear that, so that will be my excuse, right?
Yeah, exactly. Murder Inc. is saying Forbes will be dangerous again today. So
I hope so.
Most
quite disappointing recently.
Most likely
you know?
will play. And then Christian has a question which is a bit related to what we discussed, but let me go to you guys so you guys can one by one just give your opinion on what you think of the Conference League, basically. Gentlemen, for those who haven't given their opinion yet, do you guys think it has a certain value to play in that competition, or would you rather see them focus on the league and the Dutch Cup? Let me go with you, Luke, first.
Absolutely, I want to be in every competition you can win. I want to win everything. I would. It's one of those things, though. It's if you're struggling, if you're doing fairly well in the league, then you can focus on other competitions, right? If you're struggling in the league, then you have to put a priority on the league, right? We're not so much struggling as of now-ish. I guess we're working our way back up the table, so you can prioritize this competition, and you know, and try to go through and win the games you can, whilst trying to rotate the squad. If you want to play your first team, absolutely no problem. But you know, it's assessing where we are as a club, and like you said, today is one of those games to assess where we are. Can we afford to stay in this competition and stay and keep progressing in the league? You know.
Yeah, Pelle, what about you? Conference League, man.
I mean, here's the thing. So I'd say that I should always try to, you know, should always try to be a Champions League kind of team. But that being said, for the time being, I can't really say anything bad about the Conference League either. You know, I'm not going to hate on a competition that, you know, creates chances for other teams, especially, you know, with the unequal finance system currently in place, you know, with all the big teams playing up in Champions League. That being said, to misquote Van der Sar, the day, you know, we shouldn't really be playing in the Conference League to begin with, but during the, you know, well, he did leave before this, so he kind of kept to his word. But that being said, I do believe that we should strive to be in a higher league than this. But with this, with the circumstances, I'm not completely against the, neither the league in itself and us playing in it for the rest of the season.
Guys, give me 1 minute. Just continue to this. Somebody's knocking on my door. I don't know who it is. This is not
Pizza.
staged, just to be clear, but somebody's knocking. I'll be back. 1 minute.
Okay.
I think
Okay,
that might
then.
be
Thomas, what are you
that's an
thinking?
ominous thing, right?
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't.
right. Sorry for that.
I didn't talk about my conference league approach. So for me, we were at a point we desperately need something we could put in our trophy cabinet. Something to be a landmark of sorts for us. Sorry. And provided the quality of competition in the conference league, I'm not saying that there are no teams that wouldn't be able to beat us. Still, I see us having an actual chance to win the trophy, and whatever trophy it is, I would rather see it in our cabinet than not. So yeah, simple as that. And also, I know this is nowhere near the 18-19 team, but during the best Ten Hag season, this was no issue. We focused both on Champions League and the league, and we were brilliant in both. So I know we don't have the quality, nothing near as good as back then. But we should try to reach this, right? To be able to be in top form every 3-4 days. This is the goal that Ajax should be aiming for.
Yeah, and besides, wouldn't it be awesome if we went in winning the Conference League when Feyenoord was playing in the final just a couple of years ago? Wouldn't that also be a little bit of a nice touch?
Okay, but let's just not jump to conclusions too much.
No, they're not a point of reference for us. Why would they be?
That's true. Well, that's true. Well, that is true.
But Feyenoord, guys, was aiming to be the 2018-2019 of the season, right? That's what everybody was saying, right? Especially the pundits. I mean, so unfortunately,
I think it's really important to obviously remember as well that not only being in Europe allows us to obviously go to win it, but it allows a lot of game time for those that don't get to start in the Eredivisie also. And the more matches we get with this team together, the more time and more games they get to gel also,
as well.
Yeah, that's true. Quickly on the comments. I have actually nicknamed, you're right, man. It was thuisbezorgd. So somebody came to bring food, but I didn't order the food. So I don't know whose food it is, but I just took it. What would you guys do? You guys would take it, or you guys were just telling?
I'm hungry. I'll eat it.
I would definitely eat it as well.
No problem.
Yeah, I just took it quickly, and I just put it there, but I don't know what it is.
What is it?
I don't know. I haven't checked. So
anyway. Mystery box.
Yeah,
do a live unboxing, Juan.
And I wouldn't eat it. It's going to be poisoned. Someone's sending it to kill off the host.
Yeah, something like that. Sorry for that, by the way. I didn't mean to. I think the lineup is in. It's Papimento's.
Oh,
Papimento ordered. Wrong address. Yeah, bro. It's the wrong.
I was going to say it was Ajax. He's trying to get you, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was a prank, but no, that's fine. Papimento ordered food here. Okay, that's great. All right, guys. So the lineup is in. I'm waiting for the lineup. I think Papimento on the background will just publish the lineup. So are there any surprises? If anybody in the comment can, or maybe Thomas or somebody can tell me.
Well, I'm yet to see it, actually.
All right.
Me too.
Either. I don't want to be okay.
Some Murder Inc. in the comments has put it. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. So Murder Inc. is saying we have Ramai, we have Wrench, Hato, Sutalo, Sosa, okay, instead of Marta. We have Taylor, Tahirovic, Akpo probably as a 10.
Finally.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Linson,
Finally.
Probably Linson will be an inverted right winger, I think.
On the left, yeah.
No, Linson on the right, I guess.
Right.
Really?
It makes more sense because he was playing also a combination with Berghuis, right? He would switch with Berghuis on the right before.
Yeah, I'm thinking more Forbes. I know that everyone's liked Forbes on the right in terms of the technical stuff. They've rarely played him on the left as opposed to the right,
Yeah, but I think because of Bergwijn, right? Bergwijn was always playing on the left, but Forbes at the academy at City, he was playing always on the left.
I mean, it's his natural position, right? So I don't see why you would play him when you have the opportunity to play him on the left. I don't see why you would.
Yeah.
Well, actually, this season, Forbes, I actually think he played better on the right, but from what we have seen the last couple of games, I'm sure he's starting on the left. Hlinson is on the right for sure.
Yeah,
the
I'm
thing
not
is,
entirely convinced with Hlinson playing on as a inverted wing back.
sorry, Pelle, what did you say?
Yeah,
Sorry?
no, I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely sure. I'm okay with the Hlinson playing on the. That would be on the right wing, right?
Yeah,
I think
Yeah.
he
he
will
started
be.
like that once or twice, I guess.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
really
he will
shows the
be
fact that we're missing the
inverted a little
natural
bit.
right
You're
wing.
right.
It's a problem,
It just
right?
doesn't make sense to me how you can have Sosa, who's an attacking fullback, playing on the same side as Forbes, who would want to stay wide on the same foot as the same side of the pitch. Do you know what I mean? So if you have Hlinson's right-footed, right?
It's a good point.
Predominantly.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know what
So
you mean.
if he comes inside and Forbes comes inside, that allows room for the overlaps, etc., etc. You know, I don't think
Maybe you're
Sosa's
right.
known for moving inside. That's just the way I look at it always. So
Yeah, I mean, look, there are a couple of comments on the starting lineup. Let me go through them, and we can comment and go and discuss this as well. So Niels is basically saying, I'm sorry, not this one, the next one, the first one. He's saying Akpom can only play as a striker, I think. So I'm not quite sure about the number 10. Luke, you can react to that in a bit, just quickly. Murder Inc. is saying Hlinson as a attacking midfielder. Akpom will be as a right winger. So he has a different opinion about this. Niels is saying also Mikatatsu would probably have been better as a right winger. So this is interesting. Ziggy is saying Akpom will be inverted for sure. So again, thinking maybe on the right wing. Also, Murder Inc. is saying that. And Nickname is saying, and this is something I think, Luke, you were saying as well. I don't know if this is going to work with Rensch Hlinson on the right flank, if that will be the case, right? But also on the other side, what you said, Luke, Forbes is somebody that doesn't really go inside. He goes outside. And if you have Sosa, who goes outside, it makes more sense to put Forbes on the other side. I don't know. These are all interesting points. So quick thoughts on the starting 11. What do you think will happen? And also, what would you have done if you don't agree with it differently? Luke, go ahead first.
The comments, I don't think they're wrong. I think that the idea behind the team is that they're all going to interchange. You know, you'll see Akpom go out wide. You'll see Hlinson come into the middle. Most likely, if Forbes is on the left, then he'll most probably stay out wide to stretch the pitch. It doesn't make sense to me. You'd rather have Sosa, who's an attacking fullback, do what he needs to do. He's better when he's putting crosses in, so he could stretch the pitch. But I think it will be the free flowing. You'll see Robbie holding the ball up, etc., etc. I'm actually very happy that Akpom is starting with Robbie now because they both deserve to start. Akpom has brought out the best in Robbie, I think, with the competition. And now he can hold the ball up and allow Akpom to have some shots on goal. So, but I think mainly it will be Akpom playing in and around Robbie, trying to get onto the hold up play that he has.
All right, Pelle, what do you think?
I would like to follow that as well. It's going to be very curious to see how Akpom going to be able to, if he's going to be played as a 10, what he's going to be able to deliver with Robbie, because I think that, as previously said, that they're bringing out the best of each other. I wouldn't really see him. I wouldn't really like to see him on the right wing. So that would be weird. That would just look like a decision, to fill a role in which we don't really have any sufficient players at the moment. That being said, I'm not entirely agreeing with playing Hlinson there either. It's like, once again, like playing Kudus on the right wing. It never was their natural position, and I don't think that's going to be, I don't think that's going to add anything to the overall play today.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I would probably like to play Mika there instead, but at the same time, that wouldn't be his natural position as well. So it just goes back to the fact that we don't really have any especially talented right wingers in this regard. But honestly, I can't really see what type of link up Rensch and Hlinson was going to add at all. I don't really, unless we're going to create a really interesting overlap, with plays
Or maybe,
out.
Or maybe we're going to play only on one flank, right? With Sosa coming up, and maybe on the other side will be a little bit more, how do you call it, conservative, if you want to say so.
Well,
we'll
actually,
see.
Otherwise, you would probably play Guy, right? If you wanted on the right, if we're going to use that more as an, overcharge. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. But at the same time, not entirely convinced. But it's with what we got at the moment, I think that might be one of the better alternatives anyhow. With some
Yeah,
I would actually not start Clinton at all. Didn't Van Schip mention he's like exhausted, and I thought that he was going to get some rest, and actually he would be one of the players capable of making some impact from the bench. But yeah, okay, let's see. Hello,
well,
Dimitris.
he did say that he's taking Linson out as a precaution, but he did say he's fit, so he can play.
Okay.
We'll see. Dimitris, first of all, apologies for waiting this long, but as you can see, we're all fired up. We want to destroy your team, as you know. So look, we wanted to have you on the channel. Your views, I think the starting 11 for you is also known by now.
Yeah.
Are there any surprises from your side? We heard or we read as well yesterday. You guys
First
are
of all,
facing injuries as well?
Yeah, I'd like to start that I heard
Go
that
ahead.
you're making plans for the Conference League final. And I want to back this dream because the Conference League final is taking place into our stadium. It's a brand new arena. And it's the venue of the conference of the Europa Conference League final this year. So I think speaking of our starting 11, it's kind of like a mirror with the Ajax formation. I was the main difference that what the reports were saying and what I expected is that we're going to play with two number sixes, two defensive midfielders, but our lineup is almost a mirror to Ajax. We're playing with one. We have one Tahirovic, as you, Damian Szymanski, the Polish guy.
Yeah,
And then we have our eternal captain Petros Mantalos playing like Taylor does, and in front of them there's Steven Schubert, the Swiss guy, who it's not a traditional 10 as we say, it's more like a second striker, like Akpom.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's risky, but as our coach said, it's very boring to play for a draw. So let's see what we can do.
Interesting. Just quickly on that, that's a very good bridge because there was an interview, a Dutch interview with, of course, with Amrabat, and he said our coach doesn't play for draws. Doesn't suit his style. Can you comment a little bit on that? Because for you, it might be even more difficult, your team, as our team. We know we have to win. There's no other outcome for us that makes sense. But for you, there is still a chance you can draw, you can win. Is that going to be something that benefits you, or do you think it doesn't matter for your team?
I think it's a DNA thing. I cannot play the other way, and I think it's the right thing to do because it's a trap when you play for two results, draw or win. Because if you begin the match having in mind that we're going to settle for a draw, it's inevitable that the first 20-30 minutes you're going to be pressured a whole lot. So I think like we did, it's because my main hope today is that we played much better away in this group stage in Brighton and Marseille. It was a tough match because the moment we equalized in the 55 minute, there's a huge error from our keeper. He lost the ball in the box. He did a penalty. He took a red card. So it was a totally different game. So I hope that the way we played in away games is gonna be repeated again. I don't know if we're gonna end with a qualification, a draw or a win, because
Can I ask you something, Dimitris? Because last time we spoke, right, that was a third match, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
We were gonna face each other. At that time, you were top of the group basically because you won game against Brighton and you drew, I think, the second game. So you guys
it was the first. It was the first game. The second was with you. It was with you. It was the second match day.
True. It was the second game. I'm sorry. You won exactly. But I just wanted to ask you, right? It was 4 points after you played, of course, Brighton and us. Sorry for that. So you guys were at that time. You guys were top of the group.
Yeah.
after you played us. How do you feel, and also maybe the fans, are you guys a little bit disappointed where you are right now, heading into the final game against us to play for Conference League ticket?
Look, if you could tell me before the start of this group stage that we're gonna play the qualification in the last in game 6, I'll take it, because this group was a hell. It's not a Europa League group. It almost resembles a Champions League group. We're very happy because we played, especially against Brighton, home and away. Away we won, and home it was. If you see the highlights, Brighton scored with a penalty. Even though we got down to 10 men, as you in Marseille, we were in charge of the game. We played. It was maybe the best game of our season, but it's a constant theme that we're very unlucky and very incapable of scoring. We're creating many chances, but we cannot convert. Also in the Greek league and in the Europa League. So overall, it's kind of bittersweet that we're now in this position and we have to do a miracle, taking something away from you guys regarding the historic values of the two clubs. So I think we're happy one way or another. The other thing that it's a little bit unsettling is that we have too many injuries. Right. Today we're playing without our best player, Pineda, the Mexican midfielder. He was injured in the in the training ground. It wasn't even a game. So we'll do our best. But we have our best striker, the Levi Garcia.
Yeah, he didn't play the first game against us, right?
Yeah, he didn't play. He's the main danger for you. He's a Broby lookalike.
Broby lookalike. Do you expect, Dimitris? Just one more question, then I will also ask Thomas, Luke, and Pelle. Maybe they have something as well to ask you. Just my final question to you, which is related also to: do you see like a similar game unfolding like the first game we played against each other, or do you think it will be a bit different now? What do you expect?
I think in the first game we didn't start well. We were like kind of we had the Brighton game in mind, and as you can remember, the first half Ajax can easily go up 2 or 3-0, and we even things in the second half. Now I think we'll start better. I think we'll start better. That's my prediction. I don't know if we will score or anything like that, but I think our concentration on the pitch will be at top level.
All right, guys. Any questions for Dimitris? Go ahead.
I have 2 short questions. So you mentioned you considered a penalty against Brighton at home. You considered one against us. Is this something
6.
that happened? Sorry?
6. In the group stage, we have considered 6 penalties.
Yeah. So is this something you're concerned about? Because I guess you should.
Yeah.
This is one thing. And also, because I don't know how closely you have been following Ajax, but some of us consider us to be like twice the team we were back when we played the first time. Yeah. And how is the dynamic for you? Have your form increased, or are you in a worse place, or how are you looking compared to our last clash?
No, we're pretty stable. The main thing is that we have too many injuries, so we cannot settle in starting 11 for 2 or 3 games. So that's the issue. But we're not having too many highs this season as we did the previous year that we won the double in the Greek league. But we're not having too many lows. So we're a pretty good team with consistency. Yeah, that's a picture.
Luke,
Dimitris, lovely to have you back on there, by the way. Okay.
Hello,
So just like us, we're obviously debating whether or not being in the Europa Conference League would be a hindrance or a positive for our season. Considering you're in a title race right now with Panathinaikos, no? I think they're top, no?
4 teams: Panathinaikos, Olympiacos, and PAOK. We're
Right,
having
so
2 points distance from first to fourth place.
So would being in the Conference League be too much on top of your injuries? Would that be too much for your season domestically in the league? Would you rather be out of Europe, so you're to allow your players to rest, get these players back from injury to then challenge for the title properly? Or would you rather stay in Europe and try to balance both with all your injuries?
There's no question. We would love to stay in Europe. We do not have the privilege to leave the European competitions. It's a matter of for our club. It's a matter of regaining our status in the European level. We're a good team in Greece, but in Europe since 2018-19 that we played you in the Champions League. And we were awful in this group stage, by the way. We've not done anything significant. So I think we've built a new stadium. We have a good team. We have a great coach. So the next step is to make something significant in the European stage.
Would you be worried then trying to balance the injuries, fitness domestically with Europe come next year if you're in the Conference League? Would that be a big worry for you? Or do you think you'll be able to manage it as a club?
It is a worry, but it's worth the risk. So if you ask me, I'm not speaking on behalf of all like fans. I prefer to progress into knockout rounds in the Conference League than win the back-to-back champions.
I have a question as well, Dimitris. That you said that that your striker is going to be back, which weren't playing the last time. He's not your best player, as I understood it. That was the midfielder that is out injured, right? Correct?
Yeah, I'd say he's the most influential player because he's built like a tank. We can play in the counter attack with him.
Yeah, exactly. So that was what I wanted to ask as well. Is like, what do you think that he's going to be adding today to both to the dynamic of the team, but also for the threat going forward that wasn't there the last time?
2 things. The first thing is that he's extremely valuable when we press high, and the second thing is that when we're a team that looks for transition, and he's our main weapon in this style of play. For example, even when you are up front and we can steal the ball, you don't need to put a combination in place. You just throw the ball to Levi and he'll take care of things.
Is he fresh out of injury or he's...
Yeah.
Okay, so but is he ready for 90 minutes or how do you feel like?
I'd say 60, 65 at most. But the thing is that we don't have another striker. Our other striker is also injured. So
I'll feel for you.
Our bet is that the game should be on our favor for the first 60 minutes. If we go to the last 30 minutes, one down or 2 down, it would be very hard for us to get back to the game.
It's going to be interesting 60 minutes then.
One final question from my side to you, Dimitris.
And also, can I inform you of something?
Yeah, sure.
Bakpom has a very annoying tradition against us when he played in Greece. Very annoying tradition. He always scored against us, but he never played as a second striker. He was always almost a target man when in his days in Greece, in PAOK.
Okay. Just quickly, you guys did not play this weekend, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Was this deliberately because of the European competition?
No. We have several issues in Greek football.
Okay.
The first thing that we have a referee strike this weekend. Because there were threats to a certain referee about his decisions in a game,
but not as serious as in Turkey recently, right?
Well, yeah. So is it?
Yeah. But where they have a follow up.
Okay.
But after this game, there were it was an Olympiacos game, and there was some riots in a volleyball game that Olympiacos played against the police. Huge. It was terrible. So the government decided to postpone, not really postpone, to take action, and said that you're gonna play the next 2 months with no funds. So when we play again, it was a referee strike in the first place, and then when we return to the pitch for the next 2 months, we're gonna play without funds. That's the state of Greek football.
Ziggy is saying here they're not allowed for 2 months. Is this correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow,
perfect.
what a way to utilize your new stadium, right?
Yeah, it's a shame.
As a season ticket holder, you can feel my frustration.
So, Dimitris, your last game, official match, when was that?
Our last game was Brighton, and then we played. Who we play? No, it was Brighton.
So it was like 9 days ago or something.
Yeah, it was Brighton. It was 10 days ago.
10 days.
Like that.
All right. Perfect. I'm not sure what Giannis is saying here, but I don't know if you can say it.
There's a Greek saying that we are embarrassing ourselves in the whole of against the Dutch people and the whole European football.
No, it's fine. These things, unfortunately, it happened in football.
It happened to us as well.
Exactly. We have our own issues as well here. Dimitris, thank you so much. I just want to finish off by saying to you, exactly what Ziggy is saying right here. Best of luck to you. But the 3 points are staying in Amsterdam, so that's what we're going with. Thank you so much for making time.
I hope the better team wins, and the biggest hero of the entire event is not the referee. And that's all I wish for both of us.
It was a good game.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dimitris. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Dimitris.
Thank you.
All right. Good luck. Bye. So, guys, coming back to the game that we have. Just a couple of questions, and then we'll move on. We have 20 minutes left. Hearing what Dimitris just said, right? They have injury issues. Also, their bench doesn't seem like they have a lot of options. How would you go about if it was up to you and you would instruct the players to go into this game? How would you go about winning this game? Would you go full force from minute one? Or would you be a bit more tactical about it and try to find your place and just find your moments throughout those 90 minutes? Because as he said, like the striker, for instance, he cannot play more than 60 minutes. What do you think, Luke?
You can't just go into every game straight away, minute one, trying to attack. Do you know what I mean? You have to feel your way. For example, if they were trying to wait for us to attack and then counter attack and then we concede, that's probably what they want. So you go into a game, you take it easy first few minutes, keep the ball if you start off with the ball, and get a feel for it, see how the matches go in, and then you can judge it based on what's happening,
Yeah. Pelle, what about you?
I mean, I completely agree. I mean, we have seen in the past that apparently they like to play, or rather, they are waiting for us to create a lot of space in the back in which they are going to be able to abuse. So if we send all our plays forwards, that's going to be able to, just going to create an entire mess. And I'm not entirely sure that our defenders are going to be able to. If this player he's talking about is a certified tank, I'm not entirely sure that they're going to be up for the task if we go in straight away, guns blazing. So as Luke says, you should probably try to get a feel of the game in the first couple of minutes, try to create something, but at the same time, you shouldn't take risks only due to the fact that you want to, take risks.
Yeah, I would say also we have to be, because it wasn't mentioned, but we know from the first game, and also the games that they played so far, they are also good at set pieces. We have to be very, very smart about that we don't just make, like fouls at our edge of the box or something like that.
It's a big weakness of ours as well, I think, is being able to defend crosses from anywhere, whether it's set piece or a cross. Whenever the ball goes in the air, we struggle so much all the time.
Yeah, a set piece is almost guaranteed. It's always, this season has always been like almost a guaranteed goal every time. So I don't think that's going to be, that's going to be a stressful every time we see that happen, or if we do see that happen.
And I would actually try to put pressure from the get-go, but like maybe for 5-10 minute stops, just to try to get in their heads, just to move on the wave of our fans and so on. I know that Greek teams are usually not very affected by the by the fans because they have it hot right at their own place. But yeah, I feel like we should try to get in their heads from the get go, but not force it. Like do it for 5 minutes maybe, see how it goes, and then adjust. But yeah, generally in the long run, I feel like we can tire them, even though they've had more time to rest. I don't believe that this is going to make that much of a difference. So yeah, but basically physically we've been looking pretty okay recently. So yeah, I guess this could work in our favor. But I would push from minute one just for a little bit.
Yeah,
We need to play.
I'm actually curious. How much do you think it's going to be benefit for them that they haven't played since Brighton? How much do we think that that's going to affect, for example, if it's going to bring, that they're rested or that they're not going to be,
I don't think it won't. Teams like Bodo, I know it's a little bit different, but teams like Bodo and the Norwegian teams, they actually play the European games outside of their domestic season. Yeah. So they play them in essentially their preseason, and they always seem to do well in Europe. So I don't think we'll have that much of a 10 days isn't really a lot. If anything, it's more rest, I think. So I don't think there'll be lacking a lot of fitness. But what's really important is that we need to play how we've been playing recently, because I know Piers said something about being defensive. I don't understand that. Because if anything, I'm seeing a lot of rotation, a lot of attacking, where sometimes we get caught on the counter, where players aren't back quick enough. So it shows we're really being proactive. And I think against Sparta, the goal Robbie scored, the nice 1-2, the flick into the box was a really nice goal. That's probably the best football in terms of a goal I've seen in a long time. We need to build on that momentum and keep playing our style, and one-touch passing, two-touch passing, keep the ball and keep controlling the game, and really put your dominance onto the game. Don't let him breathe,
I have a question from Christian to all of you. It's about the captaincy, basically. Gentlemen, with the injury of Bergwijn and Berghuis suspended, Hato will be wearing the captain's armband tonight. That was also confirmed by Van het Schip yesterday in the press conference. Is this logical for you guys? Wouldn't Soutalo make more sense since he has more experience?
Absolutely not.
Do you remember in the beginning of the season when he jumped in as a captain, when, we had who should not be named as a coach? That didn't really go that all well, and we questioned that logic at the time as well.
Is it a weird question to ask from Christian?
No.
It's not a weird question, but if you look at it from the perspective of adding more pressure onto a player that struggles anyway at the moment, that, okay, he looks a little bit better defensively, but there against Sparta, there was an opportunity, I can't remember when it was in the game, where he sliced it and it's gone up in the air in his own box, and Ramaja's had to come out and they've won the header, but it's gone wide, and it's like he still is prone to these kind of mistakes and slipping, and it looks like his focus and his concentration isn't there for 90 minutes all the time. I think you give him captaincy even adds even more pressure to a player that's in his first season, not even a full season, 6 months into a season, so it's a lot of pressure for a player.
And also that's language barrier.
Yeah,
for
quickly,
me,
just quickly.
No. For me,
react, just quickly. Also on the captaincy, he's saying, okay, you can also, Soutalo is one option, but how about Brobbey? We're skipping Brobbey as a captain alternative as well.
Well, for me, with the Hato-Soutalo discussion, it's not about Soutalo, it's about Hato. There's a huge hype train around him, and for all of us, he's destined for great things. And if he is to reach those great things, he has to manage pressure. And wearing the armband here is something like that. And he managed it already for a couple of minutes, but still. So yeah, that's a no-brainer, especially provided that he is one of the leaders on the pitch. This is something that Dorenko often mentions when it comes to captaincy, right? That we want a captain to be a leader on the pitch, actually. And even though Hato is like almost half the age I am, he already is a leader on the pitch, I guess. So he organizes us. Yeah.
how much quickly also Millennial is saying he's bringing a different take to it as well. He's saying, like, okay, maybe it's also a sign, to please him as well, so he can sign his contract, because we're all waiting for him to turn 18, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
if we see the next big thing in him, treat him like one, right?
I mean, if you look traditionally, for example, for the last 3 great, centre backs we've had from the academy, De Ligt and also, Timber. If you look at that, those have also, been entrusted with that type of, responsibility. So I do believe that that's just lies in if you're going to be vague and say in the Ajax DNA, I do believe that that's what's in the long term going to be expected of him. So if you want to do it, gradually as well, I do believe that's a good thing. Rather than, and I don't really, for example, with the Brober comment, I usually do not tend to believe that the captain should be playing in the front. Usually, I do believe that's better to have them either in defense or the goalie. But traditionally, with Tadic, we had a striker being the captain, so it's not weird. But I do believe that he's going to be in a better position to actually assist the team.
It's about consistency, I think, for me as well, really quickly. I think, in order for someone to be able to have the captaincy, you have to show that you're consistent for the team every single week. And Hato gives nothing but 7 out of 10s, bar maybe the one game. For every one game in 10, he'll probably give a 6. But he's always giving consistency, and he's always ready, there, and available. I've always been told that the biggest skill for a player is your availability as well. And he's always there ready for the team. And Thomas is right, absolutely. He needs to be able to handle this pressure, but that's something Sutalo cannot do, is handle pressure, especially when he's trying to adapt and gel into this team still, Yeah,
correct me if I'm wrong. Hato has not missed any game, right, so far this season?
I don't believe so.
No.
Do you mean by injury, or if he's been rotated, or what?
Both.
I couldn't, off the top of my head, I
maybe?
think.
I don't even think he was rotated. I cannot remember.
If he doesn't play centre back, he plays left back, doesn't he? So maybe not.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about rotation, like starting. On
I can't think.
No, I don't think so.
I can't think.
Not from memory, no.
Exactly. Okay, guys, I want to turn a little bit the page here, go a little bit forward. I want to play a clip that I had with Per last weekend after the Sparta game, in which I told him I'm a bit worried.
Sorry, Hato started all our games. Just checked it.
Okay, all our games. Thank you. Coming back, I just want to run a clip. It's basically a clip in which I talked to Per after the Sparta game, and I'm saying I have looked at the NEC game, I have looked at the Sparta game. There are moments, in the game that we look feeble, not very good, to be honest. And some moments we look good, and we're always at the right end of the score. I want to touch a bit about that, because I feel like this is the moment to talk about it quickly. So let me run the clip, and then I will ask you a question, right? And people who are viewing as well, they can react to this. Let me run it right now. We won. We have 3 games left until the end of the year. We just discussed Athens. We have Pek Zwolle next week, and then we have the Dutch Cup. Are you confident that we can keep this positive momentum, even though the play is not entirely what we want? But do you think we can, first of all, qualify for the Conference League? We can grab 3 points next week, and we can, of course, win against the amateurs in the Dutch Cup. Do you think we will end up the season positively, or are you a little bit worried? Because the reason I'm asking this is because, look, yes, we're winning, but also last week with the NEC game, I was talking to Yodorenko, and I was worried as well, because that game also was a little bit close. It wasn't like we were much better. You understand what I mean? So it seems like we're winning the games, but there are a couple of things still haunting us, and we have to be careful that it doesn't bite us like it did with Almere City, right?
Yeah, I understand. I'd like to draw the parallel with a couple other coaches. Let's say a Koeman or a Frank de Boer. We've all seen teams play under them, and it looks dreadful most of the time.
Yeah.
But the overall quality of the team is still better than the opponents. And the play style makes it that it's also hard for them to play a good game. And I also feel like Van Schip is doing that quite a bit. By playing slightly more defensive, it's much harder for Sparta to create opportunities. And then the overall quality of our team is higher. So even if we get about the same amount of chances or slightly more, because we've got slightly more quality, we'll also most likely score slightly more goals.
Okay. So you feel like we'll be on the right side of things going forward, and it can only.
I think we'll be on the right side. I don't think we'll be great playing great football, but we'll definitely be winning.
So this is very interesting, guys, because you can look at it both ways. You can look at it from the positive side. We have been winning games against lesser quality teams, if we translate what he was saying, what Pierre was saying. But it also opens up a worry that if we play teams who are equal to us or better to us, and we're not playing good football, we might struggle. How do you feel about what Pierre said? Do you agree or do you see it differently? Pelle, let me go with you first.
I would probably say that it's a little harsh to compare him to De Boer, for example. I don't really believe that it's not really the type of same situation. You can't really, I don't believe those are two coaches you can really compare with the one we got with De Boer. But at the same time, I do understand where the worry comes from, because at times it has been suboptimal, of course. But given the quality we have, I do believe that we're going to be able to once again perform in situations in which we meet teams that are either our standards or a little bit above. There has been some inconsistencies, of course, and I at times feel like we are more cautious, probably due to the fact that we had such a harsh start to this season. I do believe that we're taking things more cautiously as well. But at the same time, I do believe that it would be almost, if Skippy was playing more, if he was playing more offensively, that might have been seen a little bit as a, how to call it, not a little bit of a almost too risky at times, because we try to create some type of semblance of control in the team. And I believe that starting out trying to be more defensive oriented, that might be more a way to do it in order to establish some sense of what you call it, like both team play, but also be able to build upon that and actually contribute some more offensive style of play. But I don't believe that is near in terms of defensive orientation as, for example, De Boer, which couldn't even make it in the Saudi league. So I think that's a little bit of a harsh comparison. But at the same time, I see where the original worry comes from. But I wouldn't say that I'm not that overtly concerned, although I see where he comes from.
Luke, what's your take on this? Do you feel also like, taking also what Pelle is saying and what Pierre is saying, do you feel like also we have to be this careful at this stage of the season and pick the points, grow the confidence, grow as a team, and it might become better throughout the season?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I understand what Pierre's trying to say. I think he used defensive in the wrong context. I think it's not so much defensive. I just think it's a bit more conservative. They're not proactively looking to chase the ball down in deeper areas when the ball gets to the midfield, etc. Because you start running out of your position, it leaves gaps, runners going behind. I think they're trying to be a bit careful, knowing that we're a bit defensive, a bit fragile with our defensive line, etc. But the goals you see us concede, they're always like really simple things. Like, for example, Sparta, they scored a nice goal, but it was as simple as someone closing the ball down. No one went towards the man. The one the week before, Marta gets beat too easily on the wing. Do you know what I mean? And then it's a cross or something, and you know what I mean? So, and then there was Tahirovic with the tackle in the box. So they're all like really simple, basic things that we conceded. But I just think it's a bit of, we're just a bit conservative when it comes to the other team on the ball in deep areas instead of trying to run out and open gaps, which makes sense. And you do see some good plays when we're playing 1-2s around the box. Like the goal we scored at the weekend was really nice. So it looks like they are gelling really well. And I think Linson's really added a nice bright spark of the Ajax way into the squad with his rotations, and I think he could have had at least 2 or 3 goals at the weekend. Not for a shot that went wide and then he was on the goal line about to tap it in. It was a really good tackle, So he's given a burst of energy. So if anything, I think it does get better the more they play. And I just think defensive was the wrong word used for Pierre. But I kind of understand and agreed to what he said to an extent. Not the Burr thing though. I don't agree with that.
Okay. Thomas, let me ask you a question. I'm moving away a little bit from this, but also if you look at where we are right now, right, as a team, what would you say is that one weakness, the main weakness of this Ajax team right now, and we should be taking this out, or Van 't Schip should be focusing on that weakness to try to make us even stronger going forward?
Well, I don't know if this is something the coach can focus on in particular, but most definitely those individual mistakes in defense, right? The lapses in concentration for Shutal when building up, the Martha situations in defense, which is also the case for Sosa, I believe. Rensch has been.
Can these individual mistakes be minimized by better communication on the pitch by, let's say, other players?
To a certain degree, yeah. To a certain degree, but better communication wouldn't prevent Romay from conceding a penalty against Marseille, right? This was just a individual mistake, which was a mistake regardless of the context, right? It was his fault, and Romay is actually the least of my concerns because I'm very happy with him overall. But this was just an example. But I don't know. Maybe this is a matter of working with a psychologist to focus on being focused, right? Because I guess this is the biggest issue. You could say we sometimes struggle to keep control of the game, like against Sparta. I guess we should have been way more in control of this game, but we weren't. But if you ask me about one thing, it would be the concentration especially in the our own half on the defensive side of things.
For me, sorry, but it becomes a thing of decision making. I think for example, we still have very young players. So, for example, Tahirovic in the box makes that tackle, gives a late penalty away. Those are things that he'll learn from, and he probably won't do again or try not to do again. He'll approach it in a different way. And I think sometimes, as is life and in football, mistakes make you better players. And I think that's something we also have to look at this squad, is that they are very, very young. If Hato goes and fouls someone in the box and it's a penalty today, no one's going to look at him and think, oh, he's awful. It's just something that happens when you're young. Okay, yeah, he's the youngest and he wouldn't make that kind of mistake. But some players like Tahirovic, Gayi can make mistakes, as we've seen him, but also actually they get better. And Gayi, for example, has improved in some aspects, and some other players have as well. But it does come down to decision making for me.
Yeah, I understand where that's come from, but still, it is our biggest issue, right? Growing pains are still pains, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, true. Absolutely. All right, guys. So this is almost the end of the stream. I want to touch just off topic quickly on before we go to the predictions. There was news, I think, yesterday about Rijkhoff, who was a youth academy player, striker. He left at an early age to Dortmund. He's playing at Dortmund under 21s, I think, or at least he's 18 right now. But Ajax is following him for a while still after he left, and Ajax was looking to maybe sign him in the summer. But now they're looking at the opportunity of maybe signing him in January. I want your opinion on not so much whether specifically we should sign Rijkhoff, but more on the idea that if a youth player leaves Ajax, let's say 16 years of age, 17 years of age, 18 years of age, should we as Ajax build a precedent and get them back like we did with Brobbey? Is that not a bit dangerous for us in the future? Also, when other youth players or other agents see that this can happen, that they might take more risk to bring them to other clubs, because maybe if they fail there, Ajax will get them back. I mean, I'm simplifying the situation, but how do you feel? Specifically about Rijkhoff, maybe, but also specifically in general about how we should deal with this. Pelle, let me give it to you first.
I would say, first of all, that we should probably not bring him back, but that's also due to the fact that we don't really need more strikers in that regard. Secondly, I do believe that it does contribute to a bad precedent, but I think it's in the end, it comes down to not rather trying to bring players back, but try to have player retention. So we have players that leave, for example, that leave too early. I think that we should build in that regard to make sure that that doesn't happen, because right now this has become, almost a little bit of a recurring issue. We have it with Brobbey, we have it with Grafenberg, a lot of players who leave, arguably to Kluivert as well. Players that leave too soon, and we don't really sign and extend the contract in that regard, and we keep playing them, and then they leave for nothing, and then we end up either bringing them back, or it becomes at least a question if we should. for example, it's always been, there was a talk if we were going to loan back Gravenberch before he went to Liverpool, and are we going to sign back Brobbey and stuff like that. It becomes a little bit too much of a focus for the club, and I believe that it would be better if we focus in that regard to have player retention rather than, bringing them back like a broken yo-yo.
Thomas, what's your view on this?
Well, I almost entirely agree with Pele. I guess with our recruitment, we should be flexible. And the fact that a young lad left us should not rule him out as a possible reinforcement for us. The issue is if we are able to properly judge a young player who is at our place, and if we are able to do enough to convince him to stay for longer. And it's been an ongoing issue for quite some time for now. From the business side of things, the Brobbey deal was, it wasn't perfect for us, I guess I can say. But did it turn out, bad? I think right now, I know that Brobbey being in good form is pretty recent thing, right? Actually, but all in all, I guess the fact that we paid 18 for him million, it's justifiable, and this should be judged on from case to case, right?
Okay.
This is nothing that I would see as something that shouldn't happen. Actually, I believe that the club being seen as a flexible organization, being able to see beyond such, I guess, a bit petty stuff at times, it would be of benefit, actually. So, everybody deserves a second chance, yada yada, and so on. I would go with that. I get the idea that this might be a precedent that would possibly discourage some players from extending their deals, because there's always a way back and so on. But no, I would just focus on player retention, and when it comes to signing players back, almost ignore the fact that someone is a former Ajax player, right? Just look whether or not he suits us right now.
All right, Luke, do you agree with Pele and Thomas, or do you have a slightly different view?
No, I agree with both. The only time I think it would make sense is in the crazy circumstances that you sell a player for a certain amount and then get him back for a lot less. If it makes sense on a business level and they're a good player and they warrant it, then it's fine. But otherwise, I fully agree with both people.
All right. Just quickly, nickname is no, I'm petty. I don't care. Don't buy them back. If they leave, go to the in-game editor and give them no, that's harsh.
Put them in the reserves as well.
Yeah. Look, financially it has a lot of
change their statistics -1 everywhere.
But we had Jose de la Verde not so long ago, and he perfectly explained the difference between a youth player becoming an Ajax player and we sell him through, or we sell a player like Brobbey in this case, how much it has financially on our books. So okay, anyways, I understand what you guys are saying. We can never eliminate this whole thing. It will happen in the future. But I was just wondering, it's an interesting discussion. All right, so we're over time, but still time for predictions.
Final question,
predictions time. So if you guys are ready, let me go with Pele first. The Cool Swede, how much?
Mr. Cool Swede says 2-1.
2-1.
2-1.
I think 3-1.
Ooh.
Thomas.
Yeah, I agree. 3-1. 3-1, and it's going to be 1-1 at the 80th minute mark, but we're going to score twice in the very last minutes.
I would say
what
the
about the host?
Because that's
what about the host?
What about
the host? Right.
What's the host prediction? The people want to hear. Chat. The people want to hear. Come on.
Guys. People saying 3-2. Sabi saying 3-0.
The chat wants to hear your prediction.
People want to hear my prediction? Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're calling us not people, right?
I was thinking honestly before Pele said it. also 2-1. I thought we will win 2-1 as well. One thing I do want to highlight is also a valid point by Niels. Not only AEK might be struggling with their bench, but us as well. Because, we have a lot of players missing, of course, so our bench is naturally much younger right now. So this is also a very interesting point. Guys, I'm wishing you all a very nice game. And let's hope for the win. We talked about the Conference League at the beginning, and Luke was like, it's not the end of the world. I would be very disappointed. Luke, I will talk to you after the game. We have a one-on-one game talk. Pelle, I hope you keep being cool like you always are, also during the game.
Keep being Swedish.
Keep being Swedish.
Never change nationality. I got it.
Yeah, exactly. And Thomas, thank you for joining, guys, everyone. And also...
And to end on a sad note, AZ is going out of the Conference League right now.
Really?
Yes, they're trailing 2-0 at Legia, and what a shame.
Well, actually, it is a shame. To be very honest with you, I mean,
but you know how do we feel about AZ?
No, I know, but I still would have loved to see them proceed. To be very honest,
it's a coefficients thing, isn't it? The more teams you have
but
go through.
Still, Shameless FC,
Shameless FC. Here we go. Sabi just saying the same.
So that's how we're gonna end this. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone, and fingers crossed, guys. Let's get the win. See you in a bit. Bye.
Take care.
Bye. Bye.